cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's time again to cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's the number one podcast. The topics of discussion when we broadcast. So all them artificial man jokes, we do it natural from the concrete to a public standpoint. Real, wherever you're from, life is coexistence, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. Wherever you're from, life is coexistence, but to know the real.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the 52 Scott Podcast. I'm your host, K Money, and in the building with me, my co-host Slash, Freddie G, and Comedian 96. Collectively, we are the Mind of Men. You can find us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast, Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast, and if you're on YouTube, don't forget to like and or subscribe. Welcome, fellas, to another True Tuesday episode. All right, fellas, I don't think we can avoid talking about Shannon Sharpe. And for those, and I'm sure you guys all know who Shannon Sharpe is, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, for those listeners who's not familiar with Shannon Sharpe, he's a former NFL tight end and was a current sports commentator. He played for the Denver Broncos and Baltimore Ravens for 14 seasons, winning 3 Super Bowls and earning 8 Pro Bowl selections. He's considered one of the greatest tight ends ever, ranking 3rd in receiving touchdown yards and receptions. And in 2011, he was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And as of lately, he's also known for being a podcaster, and he's the host of Club Shay. And this is the podcast that Cat Williams actually exposed a lot of people. And this is where, in the last couple of years, Shannon has been in the news or on social media just from that exposure right there of Cat Williams, telling a lot about a lot of people that he's dealt with. Well, Shannon finds himself in the hot seat right now himself with some stuff that has come out, alleged allegations that have come out about him raping an OnlyFans model, and just recently another lady has come out stating that Shannon has raped her as well. I think this was her name was Michelle Evans. And this is a ex-girlfriend that was with Shannon. And these two ladies, like I said, are accusing him of rape. And a lot of information is being exposed through social media via TMZ, the Shade Room, and just a lot of other media sites just blasting Shannon. And I just wanted to talk about, how we feel about it and what we think, and in my opinion, I'm a fan of Club Shay and a fan of Shannon Sharpe.
Yeah, same here.
He's not one of those flashy type of guys. All athletes talk shit, and Shannon did talk when he was playing in the game, but outside the game, he was a stand-up guy, well respected, in the league. And again, now he's facing this turmoil, which once it's said, the society we live in, is going to pick it up and run with it.
Right.
So whether or not these allegations are true, Shannon is definitely trying to fight, and get his say out there. But we like mess.
Now I got a question. Okay, first of all, I didn't know it was 2. The only one that I knew about was the 19-year-old. Is that the only?
That's the OnlyFans model.
Okay, let's start with her. He tried to settle out of court with her for $10 million, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's asking for $50. Yes. What looks creepy? He tried to give you $10 million, and you said no to that. It just something just don't seem right.
And I understand that, but let me just say something. You have an attorney, Tony Busby. He's gonna throw anything against the wall and see if it sticks. If you offering her 10, then maybe we can get 50. So turn the 10 down. Let's see if we can get 20.
Let's back up. Tony Busby is the OnlyFans model.
No,
that's her attorney.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's been known to go after
athletes,
a lot of different athletes. Well, let's just say black men with a lot of money.
Right.
He goes after, and this is what he's becoming. So the first thing I say is let's just take a look at him and view how credible he is. He may be credible to a certain extent, but I just think that he's more along the lines of let's just see how much money we can get out of it. Because here's the thing, if he offered $10 million to settle, that's a guilty claim, damn near. In reality, $10 million ain't just no punk change.
It ain't.
Well, let me say this. Sometimes you have celebrities who are being sued all the time and you don't hear anything about it. And they do settle out of court because the level of fame is so high and they don't want the backlash
Or the image.
or to losing
Yeah.
endorsements, right? So sometimes when you settle out of court, believe it or not, and this may be hard to believe, but believe it or not, a lot of people who settle, they're not actually guilty of it. They just want to protect the their name and the fame.
And I think that Tony Busby knows that. So whether or not he did it or not, I think Tony is still just trying to go for as much money as he can get out of him. Being that Shannon Sharpe's got, the Shay Club Shay is hot, and a lot of, famous artists and comedians and actors have all sat on that seat with him and discussed different situations. So he knows Shannon Sharpe playing with a little change.
I would think, that on Busby's part, to ask for that amount.
Right.
No, he knows folks are also going to consider, damn, if he's paying that amount, it must be some truth to this story.
Some truth, right.
So it's smart on Busby's part, but I hear what you're saying, Freddie G, in regards to, a lot of celebs will go ahead and take care of that just to, get it, swept, not necessarily swept up under the rug, but, get it over with.
Yeah, to protect that famous name.
I can see that.
And I'm not saying that Shannon Sharpe is guilty, man. I don't want to say that. But I do want to say that sometimes, man, you can't put nothing past people just because of who they are or what they look like in the view, in your view, what you view them as. Sometimes can be a very big disappointment when you learn something about somebody that you look up to and then you hear certain stuff. So it's very important that even if this is true or even if it's not true, that the truth comes out to heal all the minds that feel like, man, I know Shannon Sharpe didn't do it. Well, they have the right to be, to feel secure about the person that they look up to is not doing nothing stupid. And they also have the right to find out that if something is wrong, this is the person you're looking up to, then, hey, this is what we're going to have to deal with that,
Now, there's one voice recording from Shannon Sharpe and the girl.
That's the OnlyFans model.
Yeah, that makes him look guilty. Now, gosh, Shannon, I don't understand why he didn't peak game on it. So basically, he's only recording. He was talking to the girl, and he was trying to talk dirty. Mm-hmm. She wasn't engaging back. When you had that girl, you talk dirty, and y'all talking back and forth. Well, in your mind, if she's not engaging and responding the way she normally responds, one or two things.
That should have been a red flag, huh?
Right. You either getting recorded or she around her boyfriend.
Right. Well, see, I think...
And he kept going.
I think her position on that was after the fact whatever happened had already happened. And now she's not interested in that again. Now her main thing is, let me get this money. So, yeah, I need the people to hear that this how you talk. Yeah, we did what we did, but it's her word against his now at the same time.
Now, that one there is going to eat him up.
So, allegedly, right, the reason why she's upset with him, allegedly, it all was triggered by his sex recording that came out on IG that he was having sex with another woman. Remember?
Yeah.
That alleged IG.
Yeah.
And so, allegedly, that's what kind of pissed her off.
So,
or whatever.
It pissed her off, and my thing is the only reason why that would piss her off if she was involved with him at the time.
Yeah. So, but here's something. Now, she's claiming that she was sexually assaulted, right?
Right.
But this is a civil lawsuit, right? This is not a criminal lawsuit. And what always gets me is that for a person who has been violated in such a way, you would want, in my mind, criminal justice
rather than civil,
over civil justice. Yeah. And for people like that, they're seeking this civil suit over a criminal suit. That always have me thinking, like, okay, this is a money grab.
It's
now
about
check
money,
this out. Now, Kevin, I ain't trying to hide.
No, good. Go ahead.
Now, check this out. I want to read a few text messages, exchanges from Shannon and her. So, she initiated this on January 31st, 2024. I want some hardcore BDSM action, though. That's what the alleged text victim text Shannon. Right. So that sound like that BDSM. That's some bondage stuff. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So now she also hold on. Let me find another text message here that the same day. Okay.
That right there though.
Yeah, I bet you. Did you see the one that? Go ahead. Let me see if you gonna get to it.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, messages like that kind of helps his case.
Exactly. So now there's a few other messages that was sent, right? One of them said, she sent him an explicit photo and said, I want you to tie me up like this and abuse me, daddy. She sent that along with an explicit image. She sent that to Shannon along with an explicit image. Now, somewhere along the line, during all of these different text messages that they were sending, right? This is where things kind of flip, right? So she said also where she said she also said I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and tie me up and do bad things to me. So she said that also, right? Now, there's a text message here. It said, now this is where things kind of flip, because they were going back and forth on some stuff, and then she felt some kind of way or whatever. He asked, well, can I call you, and blah, 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 blah. But some kind of way it flipped. And this is where I think this is where the setup come in. She say, but I cried when you left because I begged you to put a condom on and not put it in my ass, and you didn't listen.
That's what's gonna hurt him. That part right there.
Yeah.
And then she said, I don't care about our history. No means no, Shannon.
That's gonna hurt him.
But this same girl you left out, she says, I need $25,000 for each cheek.
For each cheek. She said she wanted $25,000 for each booty cheek.
For him to do what to each booty cheek?
That's what I'm saying.
To
That's a
touch
money
each
grab.
booty
Yeah,
it's a money grab.
He should have known better. Now let me show you
I
something.
agree. Slash as an
Y'all
athlete.
men, we all men. Once you realize that woman said some shit like that, what's your next move? Man, let me figure my way out of this. Because if I go into this, she already expected money. She's gonna expect
But she
money.
baited him extremely well. If this was something that they done, consistently, and then all of a sudden she wanted to cut this shit off.
Right.
But he should have recognized the signs.
She's so scandalous.
Now the other young lady that's accusing Shannon, Michelle Evans, she says they were in a decade-long relationship and accused him of a horrifying assault that allegedly took place in 2010. She said Evans claims Sharpe became violent after an argument about his infidelity and proceeded to assault her in a terrifying and degrading manner sexually. She had been wanting to come out, and expose him of this. However, she was afraid, and he threatened, to basically destroy her life. Which, if you got money, you pretty much you have the means of doing so. So I can understand, why she possibly didn't want to do something back then when it originally happened. But once she saw that this first lawsuit came out, this is when she chose to file hers. Now this one doesn't look like a money grab like this other, like the OnlyFans model.
Well, it can be a money grab if. Well, you said she came out, right?
She came out after this lawsuit.
Okay, so coming out, I want to make sure I'm clear on this and that I'm understanding you correctly. When you say she came out, did she come out just to speak, or did she come out also to join the suit?
She filed her own lawsuit.
Okay, so she filed her own lawsuit, right? Now, so it's not with Tony.
No.
Okay, so that right there, is it a criminal lawsuit? Is it a criminal? That's a civil suit, right? That she's filing.
I don't necessarily see it. Just says another lawsuit was filed shortly after the OnlyFans model, filed hers.
Okay, so okay, man. I'm gonna just say it this way. I don't want to blame the alleged victims, and I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna blame the alleged victim. But here's what I would say: if somebody violated me in such a way that it damaged me, and it was a crime that they committed against me, there's a good chance I'm gonna go to the police as soon as it happens.
Right.
And I'm not gonna be scared to go to the police as soon as it happens.
Say that again, Freddie G.
If I was violated in such a way
Okay.
that was a criminal, it was considered a criminal act, there's a good chance that I'm gonna go to the police, and I'm not gonna be afraid to go to the police, and I'm gonna go to the police when it happens. So I can go right now to my vehicle. If the windows are busted out and something is stolen out of there, I'm gonna call the police.
Right.
And
Right.
I'm gonna file a report that, hey, my vehicle has been broken into because I've been violated in such a way that, hey, this bothers me. Now, there are a lot of women that's not afraid to talk crazy to a man, no matter what his size is. There are a lot of women that would talk noise to a man in his face, knowing she can't whoop him. So if you brave enough to do that, why can't you be brave enough to go to the police?
Yeah, I get where you're going.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, and it's a great point.
Yeah, why go to to go get the money? Let me go get the money first. I ain't gonna report nothing. I'm just gonna get the money. That's gonna make me feel better
Now,
than actually pressing charges on you. It just looks fishy.
Most important of all, as a black man, and knowing that we've seen this happen before, this has
Time
been
and time
going on
again.
for years and
Yes,
years
sir.
and years. All I want to say is, as black men, we have to do better in judging who we want to do certain things with. You can't just allow yourself to be that loose to where you're going to sleep with any woman that you think you can. Plus, think about this. This woman, one of them is OnlyFans. Man, you know what you're dealing with. This is what she do. This is a living. She's getting paid to show parts on TV. So if you touch her and she can come up with any kind of case against that, she went light on him, actually. But Shannon Sharpe, you should know better.
Man, I'm gonna tell you this. If you really wanna be out there in them streets, Shannon, and doing what you're doing, you know you are a high profile celebrity. You're more famous now than you were as a football player.
As a football player, right?
Now let me show you something, man. You was dealing with an OnlyFans chick, right? Which means that she's comfortable on camera.
But you knew
Right.
she was OnlyFans.
Yeah. And so that means she's comfortable on camera. Man, any celebrity out there, number one, I don't give a damn who you are. If you messing around, you better get them chicks to sign an NDA. Number one. That's number one. And number two, especially for this OnlyFans chick, you freaky and you like to do however I like to do. Oh, we're going to put this on camera, and I want you to look at the camera and say, this is consensual. Before we get busy.
Before we do it.
And I'm keeping all the videotapes at my house. I'm keeping them at my house.
Yeah, it won't be no edited versions.
Yeah. I'm keeping them at my house in a fireproof safe or something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you need to look at this camera and say, hey, I'm with my boyfriend or my sex buddy or whatever, and everything that we do is consensual. And I've also signed this NDA. Now, believe it or not, especially if you paying money to these chicks, because I know Shannon was coming out some dollars.
Of course.
They gonna probably do it.
That's why she going for the bag now.
So man,
Yeah, this really ain't no different than the Texans ex-quarterback who was caught
Watson.
up. You know,
Same
it's a
thing.
similar
And he
situation.
settled out of court.
It's a similar situation.
But they wasn't tripping with Watson. The girls wasn't tripping at all.
Yeah, they was if
Yes,
they
they
allowed
was.
to
That's
sign
how-
the
that's
paper.
how-
One girl said that he forced her to give him
Oh, okay. Well,
allegedly give him some
Yeah,
fellatio.
it's pretty much the
Oh,
same
okay,
situation.
okay. My
It's the
bad,
same
man.
situation. It's just there were more women on Watson. than what it is right now.
Well,
on
hopefully
Shannon
no
Sharpe.
other women come out.
And
you
we
know,
don't know that
yeah.
yet. You know, that could possibly be something.
Well, that's
come
how
up
it normally
in the
happens.
future.
You know,
Yeah,
first
you
one
know.
starts and then they
And
start.
then
It's a
it
domino
trickles
effect.
down,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a domino effect. But I totally agree with what you just said, Freddie G. If that status, why wouldn't you have an NDA signed? That's dumb.
You got to be.
You got to have copies of those wherever you go. That you shouldn't leave home without them.
You should have a briefcase full of them.
I don't know what to say, man. Like I said, I'm a fan of Shannon. I hope that this turns out that this is just pure speculation and a money grab, like we're insinuating that it is. He has taken a leave from ESPN. I'm not sure if any other jobs that he had, he's taken a leave, or if it's hurt him financially in any way yet. But I pray that this is over sooner than and like I said, I hope no other accusers come out and want to get on the bandwagon, because it seems to happen a lot. I do see one common factor. Shannon obviously liked the Caucasian type, and that could be his downfall right there.
Another one of the
them young ones. But I appreciate y'all joining us, man. Y'all go ahead and hit that like button and come back and join us tomorrow. Peace out. This concludes another True Tuesday episode, and be sure you tune in tomorrow for another episode of Women Wednesday with Freddie G. Don't forget to follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast, Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast, and if you're on YouTube, don't forget to like and or subscribe. And to all my 52 Scott faithfuls, it may be new to you, but if you heard it here, then you know it's true.